continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, and Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson.
For Joe Chernak, this day, like any other, is empty and without ambition. For Rodney Harrington, it is a special day, a day of ultimatum. And Joe knows it. Knows that Rodney is determined to stop him from trying to break up Norman and Rita. To be his brother's keeper is not a role that suits Rodney, yet the savage beating that Joe gave Norman drives him to an ultimate decision. Find Joe Chernak and bring to an end the torment that he has caused. Joe's every effort to make Rita his girl again has been rejected. And now the sum of those rejections becomes a toilsome burden for Rodney.
I'm looking for Joe Chernak.
He's out.
Well, do you have any idea where he went? Well, do you know when he'll be back?
No. Are you a friend of his?
I'm looking for him.
That's not what I asked.
Who are you?
I'm Joe's sister, Stella. Who are you?
I'm Rodney Harrington. Tell your brother I was asking for him.
Come in a minute. Sit down.
Oh, thank you.
Do you want a cigarette? What's this all about? Is Joe in some kind of trouble?
It's a personal matter. Joe and my brother had a fight.
When was this?
Last night. My brother took a pretty bad beating.
So he sicked you on Joe?
No, he didn't sick me onto Joe. He didn't have any idea I was coming. He'd be very angry.
He'd have a right to be. The kid took his lumps. Maybe next time it will be his turn to give them. His turn. Not yours.
There isn't going to be any next time.
Well, are you threatening?
No, I'm not threatening. Miss Chernak, this thing has gotten way out of hand.
What was the fight about, do you know?
Yeah, a girl. Rita Jacks. You might remember her. She used to go with your brother.
I was away.
Well, she's Norman's girl now.
Well?
And this thing is strictly between Norman and Rita. Now, if they say they're a team, it's none of Joe's business.
Or yours, either. Nobody appointed you manager.
Tell your brother I was asking for.
Yes, I will tell Joe that he can expect you back.
Yeah, and you can also tell
him yourself, Mr. Harrington. Evidently, it's different uptown, but I am not my brother's keeper.
Oh, hello, Rodney.
Dr. Rossi. Excuse me.
Well, I didn't know you knew Rodney.
We just met. Come in.
Well, I thought it might not be a bad idea to come by and see your father again.
Wasn't a very good idea.
Well, it's a usual thing to see how the patients are recovering.
I only meant that he's not here.
He's not here.
My father likes his own medicine better than yours.
A hair of the hounds. Well, I'm sorry I missed him.
Not that we can afford another house call.
Well, there wasn't going to be any charge.
Oh. Charity.
Miss Chernak.
Isn't that what it is?
Well, that isn't what I was going to call it.
Well, what would you call it? Assistance to the socially deprived? Personally, I'd rather call it charity to an old drunk. At least that's honest.
Well, you call it whatever you'd like. Listen, if you'll take off your boxing gloves for just a minute, I'll explain that this visit wasn't entirely professional. Well, I thought after last night, the way I left you rather abruptly, that I might come by and... Well, I thought maybe an apology was in order. I might apologize.
Do you still want to?
Well, frankly, no.
I was just going to fix some lunch. You want to stay?
Yes, well, I can't. I have to go to the hospital
Oh,
now.
well, next time.
Look, I think if we're going to meet again, maybe it ought to be under more neutral territories.
We'll see what happens.
Well, goodbye.
Jerry?
I've been watching you.
Better make sure none of your parishioners watch you watching me.
I have a feeling if they were watching, they'd approve.
Thank you, kind sir.
I've been thinking about us a great deal.
You have?
Yeah, the reason things haven't been going well, and let's face it, they haven't, is my complete lack of a romantic image.
Don't put yourself down.
No, really. A small-town minister evokes tea in the chancery, friendly chats, and lots of smiling. And that's not very exciting. What I need is a pith helmet and a machete and a jungle to hack through. Unfortunately, there aren't many jungles in New England, but you know what I mean.
A clearing in the dense growth, a vigorous young man putting up a chapel with his own two hands.
Exactly, and the natives crowding around and watching him work late into the night and then laying down their spears and joining him in his dedication.
It's very impressive.
Say, I wonder whether they sell pith helmets at the chandlery. I've called you a half-dozen times.
I know. My mother gave me the messages.
You were always out for the evening.
What can I say?
So you won't hurt my feelings? No, don't frown. Now I feel guilty. You were happy a moment ago and I spoiled it.
No, you didn't.
That's very pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Is that what nurses' aides are wearing these days?
I'm going out later.
With Stephen Cord?
Yes?
I knew him during our growing up years.
Oh, really?
Just that, I knew him.
Oh,
How's your mother?
she's fine.
Well, parting of the ways. Shall I call you again? No. Don't answer.
Goodbye.
Ah, there you are. I'm starved.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, sweetheart. With the pace of the Clarion, it's much faster than I expected. This long-distance runner here has shown me every beat at a dead gallop, and he isn't even winded.
That's because of good, clean, dull living, which I intend to remedy shortly. Allison? Not even a hello?
Oh. Hello. Hello, Uncle Matt.
Well, why don't you two go on?
Now you know why we're splurging and taking you to lunch.
And you know why I'm begging off.
But you promised to give us one more chance to wear you down.
But I'm not always as honest as I look.
Now, Matt, you know Connie when she makes up her mind about a dinner party.
A simple evening with a few friends. A bon voyage present.
Elliot, you'll find out one of the greatest tortures you have to go through as an editor is the farewell party. The platitudes and pontification, not to mention the white lies, are harder to digest than the chicken croquettes.
There wouldn't be any of that, and you know it.
I'd rather just slide out of town at my own speed.
Now, brass band will just get in the way. Come on, you said you were hungry. Let's go.
Well, I haven't given up yet.
Are you going to the Schuster's party tonight?
No, I'm through with all official events.
When are you leaving?
Very soon.
I've been trying to find a present to give you. I've even looked through all those travel books there to find an idea. I wanted to give you something you could take with you wherever you go. All I have to offer is my love.
Allison, I can't think of anything that I want or need more.
I wish I could bring it along personally.
Allison.
You're doing what I only dream about.
You have plenty of time.
You said that was always your excuse, too. Don't you have room for one small stowaway?
Now, why, Allison?
Because I'm selfish. Because I won't have you to turn to anymore.
But you have someone else now.
Yeah, but we've always understood each other. You've always been there.
You mean you and your father don't?
I thought we were beginning to.
Until he wrote that letter to the editor about David Schuster.
See, we try to talk. We always end up shouting at each other.
Well, that's because you care.
We never shouted, Uncle Matt. Are you leaving because you think nobody needs you anymore?
You know why I'm leaving.
I need you.
Because we don't shout at each other?
Because we can talk without shouting. We don't even need to talk at all.
Allison, when you were a very little girl, you used to come rushing into my office and grab a hold of my trousers leg when I was typing. It didn't bother you that I was very busy. You insisted that I read a story to you. And you'd sit staring at me and pulling my trousers until I did.
Did I bring my own book?
Oh, no. You made me shape my hands in the form of a book like this and pretend I was reading aloud. Of course, I told you a story, whatever popped into my head. Then I had to make believe I was turning the pages. And not too fast. You wouldn't permit it. You see, you were fascinated by the illusion.
I don't think I've outgrown that.
Allison, I think you have. I think you're ready now to look at anything straight on and recognize it for what it is. And if I didn't think so, I wouldn't go as far as the corner.
I miss you, Uncle Matt.
That's permissible.